Hello, my name is Emily Youngman, and I decided to do my video case study on teachers and devotional activities. Basically, this was really interesting to me because at the high school that I used to teach at, they had Bible studies where a group of teachers would meet every Tuesday morning in the coach's office, and they would basically hold Bible studies. I personally never went, but I was always very curious whether or not it was legal or not. So this is what I found throughout my reading. So basically, I first went through and read, religious freedoms as far as involving teachers. So the First Amendment definitely guarantees religious freedom to all citizens, and that was in our book on page 45. However, because we're public employees, or teachers are public employees, they're of course not without limits. So public employees and the schools have to remain neutral in all matters regarding religion. And then, of course, teachers may not subject others, especially students, to their religious beliefs. I also read about the religious rights of teachers in the school environment. So the religious rights of teachers must be respected as long as they do not violate the Establishment Clause or the First Amendment by creating excessive entanglement in the school. So basically, they can't have their religious opinions affecting their school time or instructional time, especially involving students. No organized meetings should occur, so they should be considered informal meetings. It should occur in a private area where students cannot observe or participate in the meetings. Participants should obviously be voluntary and willing, and then it's important to make sure that when discussing religious views that it's not considered harassment. So as far as the questions for the case study, responding to this as an administrator, I would have a couple of different actions that I would take. First off, I definitely believe that teachers should be allowed to hold the devotional activities, but a couple of changes that I would make would be, first off, make sure that the teachers know their rights as far as their freedom of religion. So obviously they are allowed to have these activities in school. However, I would ask that they would be located in a different area, since the teacher's lounge is so open and used by a bunch of different teachers and faculty and staff during the day. It's also like a generalized area. I would ask that they decide to meet in a classroom or someplace else that isn't as widely used, since this activity should be only allowed for those that want to participate in and be a part of. Another thing that I would ask would if the activities would be held either before school or after school. This way we know that instructional or educational time is not being infringed upon, and also that there's a less likely chance a student could observe or take part in the activities. Let's see. Also, I want to make sure that the groups are informal and that everybody who's a part of the group is willing to participate and it's voluntary. I want all my teachers to know that it is definitely not mandatory that they go to these meetings. When looking at some of the other questions from the case study, like as far as how do you think the court would view the practice in the context of the Establishment Clause, I feel that since the Establishment Clause prohibits the state from passing laws that aid a religion or show preference for one religion over another, I feel as long as the activities were not being held during instructional time, they included all who wished to be included, or were where students could not observe or participate in them, the religious rights of teachers must also be respected, and as long as they do not create an excessive entanglement in school, it would definitely not be a problem. As far as the courts, I really think that my decision would be just and fair. It would allow teachers to express their religious freedoms while following school rules. By holding their informal groups before or after school in an area that's not regularly used, they eliminate harassing other teachers with their religious activities that do not want to participate and diminish the chance of students overhearing or being involved. I also believe that when beginning these activities, it should be stated that all teachers will respect each other no matter what their beliefs or religions, so that nothing will be taken out of context or misconstrued. It would also be really, I think it would be really great if more than one religions were also involved. So the basis for my response or overall reasoning is, as long as the school maintains an open forum, teachers should be allowed to informally engage in religious speech with their colleagues on school campus. I feel that by taking the extra precautions of meeting before and after school in a place that's been decided upon, the risk of breaking school rules or regulations is depleted. As long as no students are present, I feel that it really doesn't break any rules. And I feel that the devotional activities could take place without violating any other freedoms or laws or regulations. All right, thanks, guys.